some of you may talk about this being clickbait and such, but let's take some time to go through this. Article just popped up about we got this covered. Marvel may cast a person of color for MCU's Professor X and Magneto. Now, keep this in mind that this is just the title, and if you go through this actual article, there's no confirmation or anything. What is interesting, and I think it makes sense why they brought it up. They're talking about what Feige says. And this is what I have been mentioning, in that if you just follow the rhetoric of the individuals that are within the Marvel Cinematic Universe in terms of the shot callers, be it Feige, Victoria Alonso, and how they're these diversity efforts and such, this is the future. This is the way the world is, and the way certainly our studios going to be run going forward. Because it brings about better stories. The more diverse the group of people making the movie is, the better the stories. Now, first of all, none of those have anything to do with, I've had it with Kevin Feige, but none of those have anything to do with anything. But I've long discussed this, how if you just pay attention to the rhetoric with the Captain Marvel promotion and going forward, that's why she was shoehorned. But also just pay attention to that. You can see that they've been discussing this whole concept of diversity. And this is why you're getting all the goofy characters that are popping up that I said will pop up, like Miss Marvel. There's a rumor about America Chavez popping up. We're getting Jane Foster Store. Right, we're getting goofy characters nobody asked for, and certainly ones that are copies of them. But not just that. If you pay attention to the Eternals cast, that cast is tokenized almost top to bottom. They're going out of their way to try to cast people that are not the race of the characters in the comic books. So it's not even a stretch to say that they may tokenize Professor X and Magneto. I would say expect it. I've said this in streams. Expect it. Yes, it's stupid. Sure, they could use other characters that are of that color that they already have in this big ass encyclopedia that Marvel has, with thousands and thousands upon thousands of characters in this book that they could just utilize that are of the race that they are. Of course, why do that when you can just tokenize the ones that exist? And the first thing that a lot of these losers say, well, race isn't important to the character. Maybe that was just the best person for the job. Look, they have to go out of their way to. There's no shortage of actors, white actors, black actors, or any of that. There's no shortage of those that could do rock star, just really kill it. So if they cast somebody that's not of the race or gender of the original character, they're going out of their way to do it. The people that were casting for the movie, they went out of their way saying that we want this. It had nothing to do with the fact that Selma Hayek was the best that they could find to play freaking Ajax. It's not how it works. So I would say expect it. Expect it. Expect it. But it's really weird, man, how this fool would say, build up to Captain Marvel. Remember, I was calling this back earlier throughout the year, or earlier in the year. When he's talking about a diverse group of people making the movie is better, the better the story. Those have nothing to do with anything, and they're surely going to find this. Just because you have a mixed bunch does not inherently increase the value or the merit of that particular bunch. It has nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with anything. Those are completely irrelevant to whether or not the product is going to be good or can be good. Completely irrelevant. You can have predominantly this race, predominantly that race, and it still may be good or bad because they have no bearing on it. This idiotic notion that just because it's a diverse group of people, that's just going to increase the value of it. Right, or the substance is going to be better because that's not how it works. It's because you're black, or there's a group of you guys that are black, white. It doesn't matter. That mean that's what the product is going to be good. That's completely irrelevant to that. Your product didn't get better just because you tried to get a bunch of people. And remind you, it's never going to be in thoughts. Right, it's always going to be in the diversity efforts are always going to be in. Race, gender, ethnic background, sexuality, and such. Trust me, politically, it ain't gonna be that. It ain't gonna be any of that going on. Trust me on that. You think they're going to have a bunch of libertarians or a bunch of Trump supporters that are going to be working for them? Absolutely not. Not happening. But the Marvel Cinematic Universe built 10 years up until greatness. And then it wasn't because diversity was the focal point. They had some characters that they were bringing in. They had some arcs that they were referencing from the source material, such as, obviously, which is the Infinity Gauntlet arc and Infinity War, with all of that, the characters and such. They brought in OG Avengers that they brought in to get the job done. That's what made it interesting. Not because anybody cared about, well, we need black people, white people, this amount of, Asians or this amount of, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. You're sexual. Nobody cares. And the fact that you have to try to push that to the forefront is letting me know, and you're letting everybody else know, that you are highlighting everything else other than the story, right? You're highlighting that over the story as if that drives the story. And if it does drive your story's going to go to crap. Period. Because those have nothing to do with anything. And this is what they were talking about, coming from Full Circle Media, reporting that Marvel is hoping to differentiate its X-Men franchise from what has come before. It would certainly be a refreshing take on. No, that's not refreshing, by the way, whoever wrote this. That's not refreshing. Just having Magneto be black ain't that's not refreshing. It's dumb. That's dumb. That's what it is. It's just so weird how people focus on that. And then when you call it out and you're like, dude, this sucks. Why are you doing this? They call you all of these terms, homophobic, racist, sexist, just because we don't want to see these characters jacked up, because you chumps are valuing something that has nothing to do with the actual storytelling, and that is these cornball diversity efforts. Doesn't matter if the film was exclusively black, no matter if your cast was exclusively black, your screenwriters exclusively, all that's irrelevant. If it's exclusively white, irrelevant. It could be good, it could be bad. That's on the talent of the people that are part of it. It has nothing to do with their makeup. And the fact that they keep focusing on this going forward, I'm telling you right now, if they keep that up, if that's going to be the direction that they're going, it's going to go to crap. And don't blame me. I know all these, people that are connected like to think that I'm the toxic part of the comic book community. Yeah, don't blame me if it goes to crap.